And now I am also going to share screen. Yes, here we are. Okay.
So, hi everyone. Nice to see some people for the first time, some people I know already. So we are going to discuss these questions, and I guess we should start discussing those questions that were asked by people who are present, maybe, right? We're gonna brainstorm them, and if we have time, we're gonna answer the rest so people could watch the recording and hear answers to their questions. Thank you so much. Oh my God, we are so progressing. That's cool. Okay, so work-life balance and priorities. Okay, maybe Aysulu, right? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Maybe you could 5 minutes later. Okay, let's skip to next one. Alexandra, how to teach pronunciation. Okay, with the help of the platform. Let's discuss. We have two questions to unpack here, right? How to teach pronunciation, and the second one about the platform. So we have an expert in this platform. Polina is going to help us, I guess, with that one. And how to teach pronunciation. I'm going to just ask additional question. Are you interested in how to insert pronunciation sections into your lesson plan, or how to build the whole lesson based only on pronunciation?
I think both are quite interesting ways, but I would focus on the second one, when you dedicate the whole lesson to the pronunciation. Actually, I would rather talk about building a course on pronunciation, because I strongly believe that it should be a separate thing. So you set the pronunciation first, and then you go with the basics. Pronunciation should go first, as I believe, because otherwise you don't get the good pronunciation. This is why we have phonetics course at universities, like a separate course. And they really believe that sometimes some students, I don't know if you faced these situations, but I have some students that came to me directly with a request of studying pronunciation. They want to build up some kind of pronunciation, like a decent one. So I think this second.
You are talking about the course, so I guess you already thought about that. So maybe you have any ideas, so we don't brainstorm from the very beginning. Maybe you would like our advice on something that you are stuck with?
Basically, I think that the problem that I face is the structure. Because if we split the sounds, like for example, only diphthongs for one lesson and only this type of vowels for another, that would take too much time. So, okay, let me get my shit together. The thing is that I'm interested in composing such a kind of introductory course to a pronunciation, like to British pronunciation in general. So it's more like introductory course, not like a specific course on training specific accent. See what I mean?
Got it.
No? Well, and the problem that I faced was that I brought too much information, and I am not sure if I should do it. And I was a bit confused with the way how to practice it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So let's brainstorm. I don't know if you are here.
Sorry. By the way, if it can be helpful, I'm not sure, but I can share my lesson plan on accents and different British accents. It's not finished yet, but at least it can be used as some kind of an example.
But you asked about the course. Polina, I'm sorry, could you mute Aysulu? Because I guess, thank you. So, Alexandra, I guess you just asked about the course, right? And then you want to
I
share a
am
lesson
asking-
plan. So,
No. I'm asking more about structure, how to teach pronunciation and how to do it like just directly, you know, how to of course I have some of my ideas, and I studied at university and I had a lot of I did a lot of courses on pronunciation, so I kind of imagine what usually people do, but I'm interested in what you believe is right. I'm interested in your opinion, in your approach, what you think is a great idea to bring up at your lessons,
okay.
considering pronunciation. So, and as a reference of what I thought it can be like an example, I can share my lesson plan. It was just one lesson plan, right? I didn't make a course.
Okay, got it.
I
I'm a
feel
bit.
Let's brainstorm for now, and then we'll move on. Okay, we'll see. Maybe you get the ideas from us, and maybe you will get the answers. Yeah, before sharing lesson plan. And as this is a brainstorming session, let's start with Aysulu. I don't know if she is going to take part because she said she's busy for 5 minutes. I guess no. So Osama, hi, how are you? Could you share your experience about teaching pronunciation?
Hi, Elena. How are you? Pronunciation, actually, to be honest, I don't have a lot to share. Maybe I just ask them to repeat, and I try to teach them stress, rules of stress sometimes, and how differences between British accent, American accent. But to be honest, I haven't really dealt with this a lot with my students, or I didn't have any requests actually regarding pronunciation. But I normally talk about differences between British and American ways of saying words, and I normally teach stress. Sometimes I talk about the rules of stress, where to put the stress and the syllables and so on. But that's all.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's important to show the difference between the accents, especially, right? British American, because sometimes the meaning is different, even and even the words. How to approach it? I don't know, lately this topic it's like haunting me, I guess, because right now I'm working with a foreign teacher on pronunciation course, actually.
That's interesting.
So yeah, and we are creating a course for Slavic people, so mistakes in pronunciation for Slavic people, not for everyone, and how to build in your pronunciation exercises. So what I usually do, how I approach it, there are a lot of exercises, especially when we talk about New English File, Speak Out, right? Usually for teenagers and adults, there are more exercises on pronunciation, and we tend to skip those little ones. But I insert them, and if you pay attention more, you're going to see that those words are actually from this context, which was in the previous exercise. Either it's grammar or listening or reading. And those sounds they would like draw our attention to are from those words. So I usually do those exercises, but I don't do them as extra. I tend to do those if it's reading. So we do all reading exercises, and then we work with vocabulary or grammar, and then I can work with pronunciation. So I can do that exercise they are suggesting us to do, or we are going to listen, analyze, like which sound here which sound are they pronouncing? How do you pronounce it? Why do you pronounce it like that? Because sometimes we need to change the position of the tongue, and sometimes it's easier to explain in their first language how to change their shape of their lips, right? Tongue position. jaws, even how tense it should be at your back, in at the beginning of the mouth, no, at the opening of the mouth, right? So, so I just do that usually after listening or reading exercises, or after grammar. So after presenting everything, having controlled practice, then I can drill pronunciation based on these sounds. If, for example, we are talking about functional language, we're talking about dialects or some phrases. So here we are listening, and then Roadmap does that very nice. They have exercises like pay your attention. How does where does the intonation go? Up, down, which syllables are stressed? And they provide us not only with just words, which used to be in New English File, they just had words. In Roadmap, they have phrases. So yes, we repeat those phrases. We try to repeat those phrases. And then when they pronounce it, we can practice the rhythm using actual sound. And when they speak in dialects, so then after I do delayed error correction, and we work on pronunciation one more time. So like pronounce it again, drill it again. This is what I do, but I don't teach just pronunciation, and I don't focus on any kind of accent. You can hear that I don't have like British or American or whatever accent. So as a teacher, I think that pronunciation of pronouncing correct sounds and linking words is more important than accent right now, for example, for any student. And as for Amazy, it can help you amazingly well. You can place the recording of the sounds or words or what you want your students to hear, and then you place another audio, like recording exercise, so they could record themselves. And then they can listen to two and compare, and then they can write their what they noticed, so they could hear the correct pronunciation.
Now, I want to share that there was a lesson on Amazy, I think last week, that was the same, that was made in the same way. There was a recording, and it was a tongue twister, I guess. And tongue twister, yeah. And there was a recording, and then there's a recorded voice, and then it place for the student to record their own voice after they've repeated many times and drill it and so on. So I think that was really effective.
Yeah.
I think the name of the lesson is tongue twister or something. I'm searching for it now. Yeah, so yeah, it's called Phonetics English Tongue Twisters. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and so between those, for example, you as a teacher can insert rules and pictures, yeah, with this, where to place the tongue. We all know those pictures. We can use exercises from very famous books, Ship or Sheep, Tree or Three, right? There are a lot of exercises there. And there is another book which actually we're gonna be talking on Marathon about this. There's gonna be a teacher who is going to talk about how to build the whole lesson on pronunciation. And she advised a very nice book. It's Teaching Pronunciation by Marianne. I'm gonna just type it because I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it correctly. I think it's available, the name, Marianne. And it's called Teaching Pronunciation. Yeah, it has exercises and examples of exercises, how to insert those exercises into your lesson plan. If you want to build the whole lesson plan, then again, you have context, you're listening to it, then you are doing it like PPP, then you talk about the sounds, you analyze, you listen, shadow, practice, And then you need to go from controlled practice, where you shadow and you record it, for example, listen to each other during the lesson. You can do that on Amazy as well. And then, sure, Sam. And then you need to go to more fluent exercises. So you're going to practice those in the dialogue. And yeah, listen to your students making mistake or not.
May I add something?
Sure.
I always try to make a distinction between accent and pronunciation, and I know that a lot of students will confuse the notion, and I know that some teachers will also probably confuse these concepts. So it's important to start with distinguishing between accent and pronunciation, and why the student even requests that, because more often than not, when they ask for an accent course, they actually want to have a pronunciation course. Or they don't understand why they need an accent, and it's more about their internal insecurities about the way they sound. And if we talk about Slavic people, we know that we have this instilled guilt or maybe shame about the way we speak, and we think that our accent sounds terrible when it doesn't really. So I always explain to my student that accent just tells people where you come from. It's about your origin. It's about who you talk to, what kind of media you watch, and it does not impede communication. It does not stop other people from understanding you. Whereas where you make pronunciation mistakes, that's when problems start. So you have to work on your pronunciation, but do not care about your accent. So is it an accent course, or is it a pronunciation course that you're developing, Alexandra? Was my first question.
I think that I'm working on both, because my question was about pronunciation. So I'm more about like making my students like universal soldiers, you know.
Right. Then I wouldn't even
so
like, I would still start
speak.
with the distinction, but then I would not focus on teaching them like RP, because that's accent, that's not pronunciation. I wouldn't focus on teaching like transatlantic. I don't know.
Yeah, but also I'm working on at least introductory lesson or several lessons, maybe like a little course on different accents, because some of my students are quite good at pronouncing, at sounding all right. Yeah, so they are understandable. But when they hear a guy from Manchester or from Texas, they stop understanding these people.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like they do not understand accents.
So it's not about using accents, it's about understanding accents.
It's understanding accent, but still, you know how our brain works. It starts understanding things when we at least try it ourselves. So when we try imitating it. So that's why I kind of make my students repeat the sounds that people from Manchester make. And it kind of helped them, you know, understand what the Mancunian
Can I say something? I think it's also important for them to know that someone from Manchester will have hard time understanding someone from Texas. So it's not that, yeah. And someone from Texas will also have a hard time understanding someone from Manchester. So it's worth telling them that you can never know all the accents. Even natives don't do that. Don't know all the accents. So there are some very difficult accents. There are some easy accents that people know well. Maybe like California accent, London accent is easy, but there are very difficult accents. So that's the language.
Yeah, but what you can do to teach them, for example, I watch a lot of. I don't know. I'm a fan, and I can watch even when I'm sleeping. I can watch TV series even when I'm sleeping. So, but I'm not mimicking all of them, and I'm not trying to pronounce everything. So what you can do as a course, for example, as an introductory course, you can have different videos from YouTube or episodes with different accents, and you can teach them how they are different, like which sounds they pronounce differently, like sounds, right? TH sound, how they pronounce different. And it is most common for this accent. So it's like, take, for example, 4 different accents, 4 weeks, 2 lessons per accent. And first lesson, you are talking about the theory of it, right? Why they sound like this, where to put your tongue, blah, blah, blah. And the second lesson could be discussing this topic of this episode, but they're gonna have to use and try to shadow this accent. This is gonna be like practical prep for them as well. That could be
the book I really like to use with my upper intermediate and advanced level students, where I want to expose them to different accents and boost their listening skills, is called Collins Listening. And I published a lesson on it just the other day in the community. So basically they will feature people discussing different topics, and there will be live dialogues with utterances and hesitations. And that's actually something you also need to draw students' attention to, how to understand when people, what people say when they're hesitating, not to be distracted by the utterances and hesitations. And so basically this is the lesson I published. I shared the link, it's in the community. So here you have an American German couple discussing the immigration, and then there is a man from Saudi Arabia having a different accent completely. And this book has Indian accents, American, British accents, people from Manchester, people from London, people from France, like Germany, and there will be a lot of different accents, a lot of different topics. People speak over each other, interrupt each other all the time, and that's really great for listening and for getting that exposure. So I recommend it. And yeah,
actually, I wanted to add that that's why I really love outcomes, and I use a lot I use outcomes a lot in teaching like pronunciation, because they have so many accents in their like listening exercises. The other day I had a lesson on I don't remember what, crime, telephone, something like that, and there was a conversation between a woman who called a bank, British, like her bank, asking to block her bank account because her card was stolen. And the call desk guy spoke with Newcastle accent. It was so nice. Like I could hear it. It was so distinctive. I don't know. I liked it so much. So that's why I use outcomes a lot, because the listenings are just great, So it's a really nice thing also to get the exercises, phonetic exercises, pronunciation exercises, because they have certain part in it too. And the listenings are just brilliant.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you.
So
did we answer your question? Like,
yeah,
you
did. I got quite a lot of things that I could work on. So I'm really thankful.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Usama asked us, right, to answer his question. That's very interesting question. I was reading questions yesterday and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Thank you.
Because now nobody asked me that, and that made me think. So ladies, would you like to share?
Hey guys, my name is Aisol. Sorry for joining late.
Hi.
I've been mute this whole time. So I had an interview at Yandex Practicum, and though I didn't work there, like I still got to read their guidelines and stuff. So they actually had this topic discussed. It was titled something like the most important traits in a teacher for Russian students, and it covered things like behaving naturally, like not being over friendly the first couple of lessons, which actually surprised me because like my first experience as a teacher happened overseas, where like it was crucial to like be friendly, smile, and things like that. But in Russia, actually, students are okay with the teacher being like kind of serious and not being over friendly and just being like straight to the point. So I guess Russian students value straightforwardness, structure, and I guess like just like behaving kind of like naturally, you know. So I guess this is my input into the question.
Is there anything else in the guidelines? So I just wonder.
I think these are the points that kind of struck me the most, so I remember them. But I could actually maybe look up that document later and share with you guys if you want to.
Thank you. Why not? Yeah, it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, because they have like a huge database of students, so and they do the research on them. So yeah.
Funny thing is that it would sound like something Russians would do, but then in my experience, they don't really appreciate serious teachers, the teachers who don't smile at them. They say they like authenticity, and that's what probably the polls would, you know, get as a result. But then in reality, when it comes to actual teaching, like as a director of studies, I've dealt with a lot of student feedback. They prefer teachers who are always, you know, vibrant, exuberant, vivacious, and, you know, cheer them up all the time. So that's the reality. Like this, it's actually the opposite. They like teachers who smile and who are very friendly, even overly friendly with them.
Well, in that case, they're no different like with other students. So Russian
Not
students
really.
value the same things as all the other students all over the world. So, well, maybe that's a good thing. So it's like
Yeah.
you don't actually have to like do the target research.
No,
They're kind of the same.
I guess what I could say from my experience, what Russian students or Slavic students in general like, is that most of them will have come from a classic school system, and some of them think they want, you know, to have everything explained to them, chewed out, and given on a silver platter. Like if they study grammar, they want to study it thoroughly, you know, with many, many grammar exercises, without going very fast, reading the rules, you know. And then it happens only before they realize they can study differently, but a lot of students will request that at first, and then you show them that it can be done differently, and they fall for, you know, the more modern approach where you have guided discovery and where you have, you know, all kinds of fun activities, everything's smoothly incorporated into the lesson. So again, they will have expectations maybe, but then the reality of what they actually like can be completely different from what they expect to like.
That's a good point. Yeah, I actually agree with you. Another thing I'd like to add is that Russian students like really feel like uncomfortable if the keywords are not translated into Russian language. Most of the times they would ask me to translate, even though like they can just like guess the meaning from the context. Like they would still ask for the direct translation, which I think is a bit different about Russian students. So translation.
Yeah, I can agree about translation, but I'm gonna agree to disagree here. They just you need to teach them to understand everything without translation. I know they're used to that, but it is possible to teach them to work without that. And when they are taught by a foreigner, they're gonna have to understand it. This is one of the cool things why usually schools hire foreign teachers as well. About
yeah, but they go to Google Translate and translate what they want.
Yeah, but anyway, still you have CCQs, right? You can ask them.
Yeah.
Then they will get used to it, right?
Well,
They
yeah,
don't-
that's yeah. I mean, like, for sure, yeah. I wasn't saying that this is like the way to teach students.
Yeah.
I was just saying this is what like makes them stand out. Of course, CCQ, guided discovery, and learning from context would be better. I was not saying like how you should teach students. I was saying like this is what makes Russian students different. But yeah, CCQ of course is better. Yeah, 100%.
Sure. And what other traits? So ladies already said about being friendly, and I agree with Polina. They like when foreigners are friendlier than usual teachers, the teachers they are used to. Why? I remember I had a class shared with a foreign teacher, and children were 12 years old. And it was their first time in their life when they saw a real life foreign person walk in their classroom. They were terrified. They wanted to touch this person, like this is real. And they were afraid they're not gonna understand this person. That is why his name's William. It was so crucial for him to be over friendly, you know? He was so friendly, and he was like, for the first lesson, they got used to him. It was, and there was a lady also, and she did the same thing, because for some of them, it's their first time ever, you know?
Yeah.
Someone that have never seen or heard a foreigner. And what else? I think as for me, because I grew up among foreigners and among foreign teachers. So what I value in them, it's when they, and I was taught by foreigners, when they are not arrogant. Some foreigners, like, I know the language and you still don't, you know. There are some teachers, unfortunately. Yes, if this foreigner has methodology education, of course, they are not doing that thing, and they are not overcorrecting. So the main thing is for them to understand that you are also a teacher. You're not just a person who's using the language, that you are a professional teacher, because there are a lot of schools that hire just a person who is a foreigner without any education. And unfortunately, those lessons sometimes go wrong, and then parents have very bad feedback, and they don't want foreigners to teach their students. What traits Russian speakers appreciate the most? When they try to adjust their speech, their speed, their accent to Russian ear, especially when it comes to children and teenagers. Of course, we can't do that all the time because they need to get used to it. But I had an Irish co-worker, and for the first half of the year, even with us, his teachers, his peers, he didn't speak with Irish accent. Then he started to insert it, and it was really nice of him. We didn't even expect. We didn't know. He told us half a year later. So we got used to him, and then, because it would be too much, you know, sometimes, especially Irish, Scottish. Yeah. That's it. I guess
that was really great. I wrote everything down actually, and I think that everything you said is somehow. I've been teaching Russians for almost 1.5 years, and I think I have seen many of these things. Now I somehow remember a lot of things in my experience with Russians while you were speaking. So yes, not being over friendly with them, as Polina said, this is not really the case, because I've always met people who are really friendly, and they want to. One of my students all the time tells me, "Hello, my friend. Hi, my friend," all the time, like the whole lesson. He calls me as his friend. This was really surprising for me, because the impression I previously had about Russians is that they are too serious, but that was not true. Maybe there was one student
for human warmth.
Yeah.
People are just starved.
Yeah, there was one student I remember who was really serious in the first lesson, but in the second lesson, he was really friendly. And also regarding also coming from a classic school system, and they need to explain. Yeah, I've experienced this as well. I've seen students who really want things to be done in a really traditional way, but then they adapt, and they get to do things better. Translating is something that I've always seen, and I almost beg my students not to translate. I'm actually, I've been learning the Russian language for about 7-8 months now. In order to, I don't use it in class at all. Sometimes I say, I know that there are some similarities between English and Russian, so sometimes I say these things, and students are always happy when when they see that I know something about the language. But the reason I learned it is also to build some bridges with the students. Although I don't need it to speak it, but I don't need to speak it in class at all, but I build some bridges, and I also understand where they come from when they make the mistakes and so on. Also not being yeah, adjusting to their speech accent. Yeah, everything was really great, and that really answered my question. And I'm sorry that I really have to go, and actually I'm very late, but I wanted to listen to the whole thing, and I'll definitely watch the recording later for that past part that I missed. Thank you all, and thank you, Elena. Thank you, Paulina. Thanks, everyone. Asilu and Alexandria, and see you hopefully in other masterminds.
Yeah, see you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, Sama.
Bye.
Okay.
So, and we have Isilu's question, right?
Yes.
It's about balance and priorities. Okay. Isilu, could you share maybe like a little bit more? Where are you stuck with balancing? Balancing what?
That was actually just like a pitch. I didn't think that it would be brought forward, and also like that there would be my name on the question. But I mean, yeah, it's cool.
If it's too personal, just don't share. You could like hypothetical situation or just any advice.
Yeah, I actually have a very, I guess, unusual teaching background, because like my first teaching background happened in Eastern Asia, and I worked there for a couple years, and then I just traveled for a few years, not teaching at all. Then I came back to Russia in 2021, and I worked in an online school for a year and a half. I guess I can actually share the name. It's called Uchi.doma. Yeah, and my workload was crazy at Uchidoma. I taught like 8, 9, 10 classes nonstop. I mean, like they were only half an hour long, but still. Yeah, it was like, and I had
Been there.
yeah, really. And I had like a lot of like demo classes, and they're just so energy draining. It's like you want to die after giving a couple of those in a row, like back to back. And then just a couple of months back, I started like I left the online school, so I'm like I just like work as a one person school, I guess. And it's been a journey. I mean, like it was really cool in some aspects because most of my students followed me from the school, and they like stayed with me, maybe like 70% of all the students. But I had to like get to know all of these online platforms in such a short period of time, like Amazy, Advibe, Miro, Znania, like all of them. And I started creating my own lessons, and it all happened in a span of like 2 months. And I have like so many things planned. I have so many things that I want to carry out, but it's been like kind of pressing for me. When I have too many things planned out, I feel kind of overloaded and kind of pressured, and it's been hard on me. For instance, like most of the times I have classes in the evening only, but there are days where I would have like 1 or 2 classes in the morning and maybe 2, 3 classes in the evening. So like there is not much time in between. It feels like taking into consideration like all the prep time, you know. So I just feel kind of drained, and I just wonder how you guys like deal with this. How do you prepare for your classes? How do you make like time for yourself? And how much time does it take you to prepare for your classes? Like, I'd really love to hear a feedback from you, because I've never actually had like any fellow teachers. Like I've never actually known anyone working online. Like when I wasn't working in Uchidoma, like there were almost never online meetings. So I've been in this kind of like I don't know, like just all by myself. So it's cool to be meeting someone else.
That's nice that you just shared with us. Thank you so much. I know it's difficult to come forward and join communities. It's very nice that you're on Amazy. I'm sure if you shared that in the chat, everyone would help you, because Amazy is amazingly supportive. There are very nice people there. I know this just fits, right, Polina? Amazingly amazing, right? Yeah. And join, you can follow me. I'm not advertising myself right now. I'm telling you feedback from my followers, from teachers I work with. We build community, and you can join. You can always ask me for advice. You can always vent in private messages, direct messages on Telegram and Instagram. You're welcome. You can do that anytime you need support. And I'm a freelancer for almost 2 years. In summer, it's going to be 2 years. I understand you. I have only friends online. Offline, I barely see people offline. Like my husband, my cat, who's snoring here. I go to the gym 3 times a week. Now I started going out. I signed up for offline meetings with ladies. They have breakfast every Tuesday, breakfast with ladies entrepreneurs in my city. That's it. That's all. And I understand that. And I'm going to share my story, what happened last week, after Alexandra and maybe Polina shares their ideas. Share their ideas.
I'm really bad at this topic, to be honest, because I either kill myself with the load of work and I work like really like crazy, or I don't do anything. Like now. But usually it takes really long to build up a lesson plan from scratch. I spent like, in total, I would say that I spent about 10 hours on a lesson, because it includes some searching for materials like videos, texts, or maybe composing them myself or with help of AI platforms. Then building up the structure of it and stuff. And also I'm really slow. So balance and prioritizing are not my strong points, fortunately. But I try my best. As we all do. And recently I just cut my load. I have 2-3 lessons a day. Sometimes I have 5, but it's more as like an exception than a rule. And now I feel happier. But it's been about a month since I cut my load, about a month. So I haven't felt that much of a salary, you know. That's why I might come back to a crazy load. Well, I don't know.
Might I say something? So basically, if you feel like you have a lot of students and you can't take more students, but some are asking, raise your fares, ask for more money from your existing students, and also take it as a habit to raise your fares every year at the same time, maybe like every September. Warn your students in advance, say, every year I'm raising my fares by, let's say, 15%. Just do it. It's a rule that you abide by. That's it. You don't like, nothing's going to change that. Your old students, your new students, just do that. And you can start now if you want to. And I know that's sometimes challenging for people to ask for more money because they don't feel they're worthy enough. But if you have students who come to you repeatedly, you have new students who want to study with you, then you are worth it. I mean, that's the thing that shows. Apparently, yeah. So that's the thing that actually indicates that you are worth more than you're asking for. So ask for more. That will help you, raise your income, but then also give you the opportunity to maybe lower the amount of hours you're teaching. That's one thing that you have to do. And then another thing is, do not approach work-life balance as like there's work and then there's not work. I always talk about it to anybody who wants to listen. I read this fantastic article. that explained when we started to get weekends, the idea of days off, and that actually came with the Industrial Revolution. So before that, there were artisans and people who worked with their hands, who produced and created stuff, and their worth and the worth of their labor was calculated by what they produced. From the invention of a conveyor belt, we suddenly started to calculate the worth of time and hours. And then when some of your time is paid for, then there is time that is not paid for. And this created this dichotomy of work and non-work. But when you think about something with the negative prefix, non-work, then it's the negative thing. So you understand what work is and what you do at work, and you understand the value of this time is calculated by how much you earn. And then when you're not working, it feels like this time is not worth anything because you're not earning money. So suddenly your non-working hours are worth nothing, and you don't know what to do there because they are the opposite of something specific. They're the opposite of work. What you have to do is you have to stop thinking about it this way. Your work and your life is the same thing. You still live when you work, right? So what you need to do is you need to fill your other time when you're not working with something valuable. So here I have work time, here I have walk time, here I have gym time, here I have a meeting with friends time, here I have hobby time. It's all valuable. It's all worthy of, I don't know where I'm going here. I hope you understand what I mean here. So it's still,
It's actually really cool because the other day I read an article from, it's quite an old article, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, from Forbes. It was about the concept of work and life balance. And the concept of that is more like a scales, like something like that, like this, that you have half for that, half for this. But it's actually the spectrum. And you have not only work and not only life, and your work is also your life. You have your life and you have many activities in it. And how much time you want to dedicate to each of your activity depends on what you want. Some want to paint pictures like me, and some want to watch TikToks like me too. So it's up to you what you want. Really, just choose what you want.
Yeah,
And this leads to another big question: to understand what you want, because I have trouble with it, and that's why I ask for psychological help because I cannot understand what I want.
Yeah.
so
And I see Polina is drawing a balance circle.
yeah, this is the balance circle. I don't know if everybody's familiar with it. This actually helps with finding this balance. So, and it helps to break free from this duality that is being preached to us through work-life balance, right? So basically, like, this can be your work, right? And it can be like 8 out of 9. Yeah, I spend a lot of time on it. I'm very I have good progress here. But then here you can have your friends, and here you can have your family, and here you can have your health, and here you can have your hobbies and stuff like that. So you need to draw this circle, and you need to assign certain areas of your life to different like pie pieces. And then how much of your time, how much of your attention do you pay to these pieces? And this will show you where you're lacking, where you need to focus more on. And this will help you kind of like build this balance in your life. This will not contradict the feeling of balance. Okay.
the thing is that, in my opinion, I'm lacking in all the areas of the balance wheel, because I actually drew one in the beginning of the year, and I've graded all the areas of my life like below 5 on a scale out of 10. So I'm not doing great in any aspects of my life, but I guess that was the first step, to just draw it out. Well, first off, thank you guys for validating my experience. I guess it was really, I think it was really nice. Yeah, it was super nice to feel like I'm not the only one who's struggling with the same things I'm struggling with. And yeah, Alexandra was the first one who reacted in a way that made me feel that you also went through something like this with maybe online schools or working like a lot of hours a day. Did you?
Yeah, not only teaching. Since my university years, I just like a
Right.
workaholic. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
like I work for 10 plus hours a day on average. And I actually deliberately taught myself only this year, or since the beginning, I don't remember, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, I started teaching myself deliberately to spend some time not working. So
Yeah.
it's hard, you know,
Tell me about
not
it.
work.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
know.
yeah, I used to work really a lot. I used to have offline lessons and the other job I used to have, and online lessons too. I used to have offline teaching for like 8 lessons a day, and also I needed to move around the city. I'm currently living in Moscow, and I had to like move from office to office to teach at my students' offices. So and I had like 6, 7, 8 lessons a day with this kind of schedule. I also had when pandemic happened, I had like really up to 10 lessons a day at the very beginning, because we had this illusion that we have more time because we don't have to go anywhere, and it was my choice. Like I can't blame the school, or I can't blame this school, because that was the only school in my life, in my heart. Anyway, so I would say that like it was my choice. I chose to work that much.
That's true. Yeah.
Take responsibility for your own choices. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just, even if I wanted, I couldn't put the blame on anybody. Like I said yes to lessons. It was my choice.
Okay. Yes, sure, sure. Yeah, responsibility. This is one of the things you're gonna face when you start freelance job. And just to share some tools with you, Aysilu, what you could do right now, because you said you have like 5 and below in different spheres of life. So now you just have to decide which one you want to focus on first, because you can't focus on everything. So where is the focus? There is growth. So if you focus on friendship, then you can think, okay, what can I do for that? Okay, so I can meet my friend every week for a cup of coffee for 90 minutes. So you put into your calendar, like every week you discuss it with your friend and you do that first. Then you plan your relaxation time. I'm going to have a bubble bath every Saturday. And you put it into your schedule, you do that. I'm going to go dancing. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go for a walk. And you plan your oh my God, resting time first. And then you plan your work. And as Polina said, raise your prices, put people into groups, pairs, groups. Alexandra, you said you can be planning for a very long time, and as understood, you like plan from scratch. So you can start, you can use course books. That's okay to use course books and not plan every lesson based on authentic material. First of all, it has recycling, and it's planned for your students to have everything done one by one. You can use ready-made lessons on Amazy, on any other platform. Join community where you can vent about it and talk to someone. You need to find someone to talk to about this thing. It can be a friend, it can be someone from the same sphere or someone from different sphere, but this person shouldn't give you advice. You can just tell them, I need you to listen to me and just share this with me and be there for me, just no advice. That's it. That's what I tell my husband as well. Like, just listen to me. I don't care what you think.
Yeah,
Just
sometimes you
listen.
just need to vent, really
Yeah.
vent, and you don't need to hear any advice.
Yeah,
Yeah, true
definitely.
that.
Yeah. Uh,
As for ready-made lessons, Maya just said that I do not have a lot of time to prepare lessons, unfortunately, because I don't only teach, but I also like do a lot of other stuff with Amazy and the community and so on. And so I extensively use free lessons in the community all the time, and I can adapt them a little bit. But I'm so thankful for everyone to making my life easier because I also teach. And I don't want to give that up, but I don't have time to prepare lessons at all. I just use community lessons all the time.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
definitely.
they're there for a reason.
Mhm,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
mhm.
Yeah, that was a good point, Polina, you raised that I guess the
Dichotomy, yeah.
dichotomy of life, I guess, isn't actually like the best guidelines to live by. Life is not black or white, it's on a spectrum, as someone else said. So maybe like some people have more fun working
Yeah.
than resting. For some people, work is a hobby, and I personally really like organizing stuff. I can spend hours organizing my lesson materials, and and putting everything into Notion. I love working with Notion, making templates. So actually, this is a hobby that is part of my work. But I actually I always used to just split my life into work and life, but it's true that we still do leave when working. Life just doesn't magically stop and then resume. So that was a good point. And finally, Elena, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to reach out to you when I really need to talk to someone or ask for advice or vent. I think I might actually do that. I
I'm
really
here.
need it.
I'm always open, and just text Amazy Community or text me, you know where to find me. I'm also there if you want to talk to, and if she's unavailable.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, because it's really lonely.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
once you join community, there is a community teachers talk. Oh my God, they talk 24/7.
That's
And
true.
they have rules that you can't judge. If someone wants to be blocked, if someone is going to be blocked, they discuss all together if this person should be blocked. There is no hate, there is no sarcasm, there is no they have this in their rules. So I can send the link and you can join the community as well.
They're very non-toxic, I agree.
Yeah.
Agree. I think that the majority of teacher communities is non-toxic.
Oh my
I'm very
God.
happy to be part.
Seriously? You just haven't joined, I guess, the ones that
I have been to them, but I still think the majority of people, they are not toxic. It's just some people maybe still. I
don't
mean,
know.
Amazy Community, I haven't seen any kind of toxicity in Amazy Community, for example, thankfully. And we work
But
hard to maintain that.
there are some communities, I don't read them sometimes for several months. And then when there are
Okay.
more than 1,000 messages there, I just go press end,
Yeah,
and just
Marcus
read the
read.
last 10. And sometimes even those 10 messages, they can be like, oh my God, I just want to go and have a bath,
In
All
Telegram
right.
or
Yeah, on
Vkontakte?
Telegram.
On
No,
Telegram.
on Telegram. Oh, Vkontakte, they are even more toxic than
Yeah,
Telegram.
Vkontakte. Yeah, I was just gonna say Vkontakte is crazy.
So just don't join those. Don't read those. Leave
Yeah.
those.
I guess there can be even gatekeeping in communities a lot where you don't want to share your resources or some findings and discoveries that you have. Some people will do that. I still hope that it's disappearing maybe, or it's not going to be there very soon. Just join the communities and do that, and that support each other and share stuff.
Yeah. And I see, Lou, you said you like organizing, you like preparing Notion, lesson plans, blah, blah, blah. Make that an extra income. Sell those. You can sell those on Amazy. You can create your own Telegram channel where you sell with subscription. Well, you can sell them anywhere you want, even if it's not a high price. It's people gonna buy it, then you see that you can make profit on that, and it can be your like 2-hour payment, and you don't have 2 lessons because people paid, and you have these 2 hours to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I really do want to, like, to have this kind of like a side hustle. It's just like I'm a master procrastinator, so I hope I will create like my Telegram community and like start selling my materials maybe within April. I have so many ideas, but I'm
You
putting
need
everything
just to
off.
do, you need to make the first step.
Right,
So you
right.
can do that
Yeah.
right now. You can do that
Right.
right now. You can say like, okay, I promise that till this day, I'm gonna do this. And you can tell that to us and do that.
Make a commitment. Commit to it.
Accountability, huh?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, okay. I promise I will do the first step within, okay, in this weekend. In this
What are
due date.
you going to do? What would you like to do?
Okay, I guess I can start with creating my Telegram channel and like just write an intro post, maybe share some materials. Like I guess that could be the
Amazing.
first step.
Amazing. Yeah,
But you
share
will
with us, share your
hold me
Telegram.
accountable.
Yeah, share your link,
Share the link.
share the
Yes.
link
We will
with
join.
us, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate
Yes.
it.
As Yelena said earlier, focus on one aspect first and then commit to it. And then you can focus on something else later when this is done.
Right, 1% a day, as the
Yeah.
Atomic Habits preach, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. So even just coming up with the name for your Telegram and creating it is already a huge step. And you said
Right.
you already want to write an intro post. So
Right,
that's
yeah.
a second step already. And you already want to take that. Great, amazing.
If you
Yeah.
are like a perfectionist in a way, I don't like this word. I don't like to call myself that word, but sometimes I can be very, thorough about things, too thorough. So if you are that way, do not make yourself do everything perfect from the first try. You can make it better later. Do something and then update it, upgrade it, enhance it, and so on. When I was working on my website, I spent hours, choosing fonts. I can do that sometimes, and then it's just like, no, okay, I will choose the font later. I'll have to write, the content first, and then publish it, and then I make it better.
Yeah, I heard an interesting thing that as a perfectionist, which is just perfectionists are just, I guess, people. It's just one side of insecurity in some way. So the best way for perfectionists to start actually doing something is to lower the bar from 100% to 75%. Like just do it something the 75%, and
That's true.
and you'll be good to go. So yes, that's good. I agree 100%.
Yeah, but it's easier said than done.
Right.
It's coming from a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So it took me almost 2 years to finally understand and finally do that. This is the thing I wanted to share with you. I'm hosting courses, I'm launching courses for teachers, and there was a new course I was supposed to launch, and it was supposed to start today.
Observation. I actually wanted to join. I messaged you.
Yeah, but I canceled it.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Because of several reasons. First of all, a few teachers wanted to join, but they didn't buy it, They were waiting for the very last minute. And I can't teach one student. This course is made for 2 and more. Then, even if teachers paid, even if I would have started it, I won't be able to manage it, because right now I have 3 marathon for teachers who I'm preparing, and I have to launch my summer course. And when I canceled it, I was crying from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I was crying not because I canceled it, not because I had to say that, like, I didn't fail, I just didn't launch it. I was crying because I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I couldn't, like, somebody who understands me, who is launching and who is doing the same. So I didn't have this person, and I was afraid to text to a lady. We are not very close, and I was teaching her academic director, and she's launching courses as well. And I texted her because I didn't have anybody. And I texted her, and she supported me for 2 hours. She was listening to me.
So
She
cool.
was suggesting her ideas. Yes, so we figured it out. And this was the point when I understood that I felt guilty because of myself, to myself, because I was stuck doing it all alone, and I was trying to make it. So just don't do the same mistake.
Don't push yourself too hard. Yeah, you can
And don't
stretch
push
yourself too thin.
And on freelance, it's like you're working, and you think, okay, 1 more hour. This 1 hour can be a week.
Right. Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
stop. Just
had-
close your laptop and just go out. That's what I do.
Yeah. You had so much on your plate, 3 marathons running simultaneously, and you wanted to add like this massive course. Yeah, you're one perfectionist for
But,
sure.
you know, as you said, I have so many ideas and I want them right now, but I forget that I need time to plan.
That's exhausting when you like have too many ideas and you want to bring in like make them come to life like at this moment right now and here, but that usually just makes you not even start. In your case, you are actually like you've been successful with so many projects.
No, but thank you, thank you. But this is not. I want to just show you that even though you see me from this side, yeah, and people tell me you are doing this, working, blah blah blah, but this is tiring, and this is the thing I can't stop in myself. So but I can close my laptop and not work for a week. I can't do that. But then when I start, it's just I can't stop. And it's not because I overwork or I want more money. It's just my flow. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So just need to balance it. That's why I'm going to sound healing sessions, like to even myself out
Cool.
to stop.
The sound plate?
Sound healing sessions.
Is it the sound plate?
No.
No.
No. It's in my city. And we meditate and we listen to these Tibet bowls, drums, hang drum.
Yeah, a funny thing is that those bowls were actually created in like Germany.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
That's so random. Wow.
They're like there is a legend that they were like, oh, they are ancient Tibetan, I forgot instruments. They were actually created in Germany like 20 years ago or something. Fun fact.
That's strange. Oh, okay. I'm gonna Google it definitely.
Yeah, research it. I might be saying something wrong. I don't remember whether it was Germany, but it was definitely not. Like, it's definitely not from there. It's definitely not authentic. It's like what people want to be.
And Alexandra said, you need to figure out what you want. As she said, that you need to figure out what you want. And sometimes we are doing things we don't want. We are doing that because somebody said it to us, told us when we were little. Even like your grandma, when you were 5, she could have told you something that is stuck in your head, and you are mirroring that into your life right now. So sometimes you need to understand what you actually want. And it's difficult to say no to things you're doing to start doing what you want. It's extremely difficult. But once you do, it's going to grow in, what do you call that, progression?
Geometrical progression?
Yeah, it's going to grow, and it's going to, when, things will start going your way. Just when you make this step into the direction of what you want and your hobby and what you actually want inside, things start going your way. And I don't know how it works. It's just the law of the universe, but it happens. And I did that and it works. I can tell you based on my experience. So you just need to prioritize, as you said, what you want, not your friend, not your partner, not your parents, not your grandma, you. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you can fail, but this is the point when you get up and you start it over again. So success is measured not how much you have, but how many times you stood up and you did it again.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, just start, as you said, Telegram channel, okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Also, may I just add that to me, success is how happy you are doing what you're doing.
Sure.
Because if you are teaching 5 marathons, I don't know, if you have 15 students and like so on, and you're not happy, you're not successful.
That's
You
true.
may have like 2 students and not earn too much, but you may be very happy and enjoy your life and yourself, and then
We're
you're
just-
successful to me.
We're so result oriented that
Exactly.
we're
Ambition has killed us.
that's true. Yeah. I forgot about like such word as happiness, but yeah, that's true.
Mhm. Yeah, but meditation helps you. Well, it helps me. Everyone finds what they want. To understand that you are happy any moment, actually. You just need to see this moment. You need to appreciate this moment because, yeah, we are not, happiness is not measured by money or by work. It's your, for me, it's your inner state, your inner feeling. And about happiness, I have listened to podcast of Irina Podres. She has a professional podcast about money, and she has another podcast which is about happiness. So she has dialogues with people who are in sports, in business, in yoga, in meditation, who are the best. And she asks them, what is happiness? And they tell about happiness and how they feel happiness, how they achieve the happiness, they reach this happiness based on their job, their work, what they do. And it was really insightful for me. I really like that. And I also like a psychologist. Her name is, oh my God, Marina Dmitrieva. And she has a podcast with a coach where they are discussing what is happiness based on psychological side of happiness. And it was really insightful as well. Yeah, so it helps. It helps when they put happiness into like tangible, not tangible. They, how can I explain it?
Measurable?
Not just measurable, but you know, we, because of pandemic, I think, and Instagram Live, we're used to this Mitrosh and the millions, you know, and like launching and blah blah blah. This is happiness, and they turn us back. They put us down to earth and show us that happiness is having clean glass of water. You know,
Yeah.
that's actually
Cheers.
yeah, yeah. That's happiness. That's it. So, and then you kind of feel normal, not having 120 millions on a launch. You know, and yeah, I really like those dialogues. So I started like watching a lot of interviews and like that about happiness. It really helps. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can stop at this.
Yeah. We
At
have
this
3
note,
questions.
because yeah, but I mean, we have.
Motivating note.
It's been really thoughtful, and it's been really, I don't know, warm and personal. I love it. I think the fewer people you have, the more personal it becomes, and the more, I don't know, valuable.
Like the circle of trust,
Yeah.
or in
Yeah, so
our case, square.
maybe then not share this video with everyone. Maybe share
It's
with
a good
those who
idea.
were here, and maybe with Usama, maybe he would like to listen to that, right? And I think, do you remember, Paulina, we had a mastermind where we also had this question about work-life balance,
I
if I'm
think
not
so, yes.
mistaken.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
so
did.
maybe Aysulu could watch that because we discussed a bit different points there, I
Yeah.
think. Today we went deeper and philosophic, and then we had some tools. And what I wanted to say as well, that we started discussing questions deeper, not just giving advice straight
Yeah.
away,
Yeah.
and we just started discussing them deeper. Yeah, it was
It's
very
more
That'd be
about
great.
sharing the feelings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. So I think it was, yeah, I found it. No, okay, I'll look at the recordings of previous and I'll send you the
It was
latest.
with me, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And Osama was
Probably.
there. Osama was there as well.
Which
And they always
community were you guys talking about? Is it the Amazy Telegram chat?
Yeah. Yeah, but we also publish masterminds in the Amazy community. I mean, the community section of the platform.
Oh,
We
never.
publish so if you just Google mastermind in the community section of Amazy, then you will see 2 masterminds that we had recorded
Mhm.
there.
And the Telegram group chat is Amazing Teachers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah, I didn't really read it.
basically
Mhm.
people post their new lessons, but if you start talking, people start talking to you as well.
Yes, and like I don't know why people usually just post lessons. I always want to, have discussions there. It's just like it
Maybe
has
You
to
can
come
start.
from
You can
Maybe
people.
they're
start if
I
scared.
always do that. Sometimes I think that I spoil the atmosphere at
No,
the
no, the
community because everyone shares lessons and discusses some problems or obstacles at the platform itself.